Senator, welcome back to Senate Spotlight.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So I'm very excited to talk to you today about the topic of data centers. It seems like they've been in the news more and more lately. We're hearing there are conversations in Eagan about a one-year moratorium on incorporating them. There are conversations in Hermantown and Farmington. So let's start at the beginning. What are data centers?
Okay, so that's the toughest question, right? It's actually defining what it is. Originally, when we were growing up, it was a small group of servers in a small back room and in a tiny little area. So it didn't take up much space and nobody really thought anything of it. So it was a tiny little commercial building. Now we're talking about industrial sized buildings, massive footprints, and so those store huge amounts of servers. And what do? It used to be storing data like patients and telephone numbers and things like that, and now it actually helps operate AI programs and things like that. So it's much bigger and much broader.
And what is the concern with having these data centers nearby in communities?
So like I was saying, originally data centers, they were small, little tiny commercial buildings, nothing really to think of. You'd drive by it and think it was an office building. Now today, if you drive by the one just inside my district on the north end in Rosemount, it's a huge data center, right? It looks like an industrial complex, and that's what they are. So having an industrial complex, you know, a couple hundred feet from your house, probably a lot different than having an office building a couple hundred feet from your house.
Yeah, it's not the neighbor you're looking for. No. And I have to imagine it could have some impact on property value and utility bills, right? So those are the concerns with data centers in neighborhoods. Are there any benefits to having them, or is there an argument for it?
Yeah, so a data center is still necessary, right? In today's world, we are trying to advance technology. Well, without a data center, we can't do that. So they are necessary, but the question becomes, where do they need to be? Again, this would segue into what I've been working on, and that's finding a way to have them be where they belong, industrial complexes away from residential areas.
And to that point, last session you introduced Senate File 607 regarding the placement of data centers. Tell me more about that bill and where it landed.
So the bill originally had a hearing coming in State Gov. Unfortunately, it got canceled. That's the part that I was really disappointed about. The bill was designed to try and thread the needle, as I like to say, in politics. It's a word we hear all too often. But what we're trying to do is we're trying to find a happy middle ground. What people in Minnesota need, which is data centers, but where they should go. And so by definition, I look at a data center of what they're trying to build today as an industrial complex, and so they should be industrial zones, and that's what this bill does. It also allowed for an inspection to make sure that the water sources and the electricity sources are there and available for the project that they're trying to build.
Any plans on introducing it again this session?
So yeah, it's still an active bill. I'm hoping that we can get a hearing maybe again this year and actually get through the hearing as opposed to having it canceled. And so looking forward to getting a good discussion going. Data centers has definitely changed, and I don't think anybody knew how it was going to change. And I always say government's slow. So we're catching up to what we should probably be talking about and probably should have been talking about 10 years ago.
Given the response from communities that we're seeing, do you think more legislation regarding data centers will be introduced this session?
I have a feeling the discussion of data centers isn't going anywhere. It's only going to get more busy, and it's going to get more in depth because people are still learning what they are. Like you said, some people just assume they're just the little office buildings still.
And I know this is speculative, but do you expect there to be any better traction for the legislation this session?
Yeah, you're asking a very difficult question. This legislature is a very challenging one with only one seat difference in the majority of either body. It makes things interesting. And it's also a bipartisan issue. It spans across both parties, which is good, but it's also bipartisanly opposed. So that's the hard part.
Regarding the conversation around data centers, I'm also seeing NDAs come up, or non-disclosure agreements. How do these two topics relate?
So for the example of Farmington, that's the area that I represent, and so that's why I got involved in data center discussion. The number one thing is local municipalities were being asked to sign NDAs before they could even discuss what the project was. Well now, because of those NDAs, they didn't get to tell their constituents what was happening until after the project was already full steam ahead and possibly, past the point where they could stop it. And so that's where I have an issue. Your constituents have a right to know what you're doing, and we shouldn't be signing NDAs for those things.
And you've said you support efforts to ban NDAs, and you cited a House initiative to do that. I know that there are two DFL senators who also have similar ideas out there, Senators Grant Hochschild and Jen McEwen. Talk to me about the push for this to ban NDAs or at least limit them.
Yeah, so NDAs are a challenging subject. Obviously, there are times where I think NDAs might be necessary. I'm going to say the word might because I'm not 100% sold yet. Actually, I can give one example where I think they might be necessary, and that would be if I'm taking a tour of a facility. Again, I'm touring. They're already owned. They're already controlled property. I don't need to tell the trade secrets, right? I've been on tours where I have to sign an NDA just saying I won't tell the public about what I saw. Great, that makes sense. But the NDAs that don't make sense are when you're buying property, when you're trying to have cities rezone things for your property. No, that's pretty sketchy, and that seems pretty behind the scenes, and you're trying to control the situation.
Okay, Senator, any final thoughts on data centers or NDAs?
Well, as I've been saying since the beginning, data centers are necessary. It's just we need to be wise and thoughtful about how we're going to create them and where we're going to put them.
Senator, thank you so much for the conversation. It's been enlightening.
Thank you very much.